Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday morning live group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Sandy Beach, and I'm an alcoholic. How you all doing this morning? Well, it's great to see everybody here this morning, and we always start out by giving a special welcome to anybody who has never been to this meeting before. If you're just joining us at this particular meeting, why, we hope you get something out of it, and hope you enjoy it, and we certainly want to welcome you. And if there's anybody here this morning who is new, relatively new to Alcoholics Anonymous, if you have just arrived here in this fellowship, good. We want to welcome you and let you know how much we care, and also to let you know that everybody in this room has been through those feelings that you're having, where you just are not sure you're in the right place, and a little bit of fear, anxiety. I ought to get out of here before it's too late. And I think these people are too serious about all this not drinking, and they don't understand, I'll never make it, or whatever feelings that you're having. Why, all of us had those, and all we can tell you is they're going to go away, and your life is going to get a lot better. There's going to be a lot of wonderful surprises in store for you if you will stick around here. On the other hand, if you go back out, there's nothing but more trouble. Whatever has happened before, it'll get worse. So please go against your better judgment and stay here until 2 or 3 months goes by, and then you'll have a chance to see how this works. It's customary to start our meetings with our preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We're self-supporting through our own contribution. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy. Neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And you'll hear that read at just about every meeting that you go to, and it serves as a very good reminder at every meeting to go through this. Tells exactly what Alcoholics Anonymous is and what we're doing here this morning. And by last count, at 250 other AA meetings in the Washington, D.C. area every day. That's a lot of groups. And you will find, if you get the directory, the where and when, that there's a meeting near where you work and near where you live, and whether you want to go at night or in the morning or noontime, you want a women's meeting, a men's meeting, a non-smoking meeting, a smoking meeting, whatever, you will be able to have a pretty good choice, and that's really a luxury living in a big metropolitan area. You get a tremendous choice like that. We have a few announcements to get out of the way. One, we ask you going once.
All right.
Gone. Thank you, Charlie. Or you wishing them good luck. Okay, if you haven't been here before, why, let me explain. If you're new to AA, this type of meeting is a little bit different within our fellowship in that most of our meetings are either speaker meetings or discussion meetings. And this one is a classroom type meeting. We have 4 or 5 of these in the Washington, D.C. area, and they were started 25 years ago, somewhere's in there. One of them was, anyway, the Steps and Traditions, on Tuesday night at the Presbyterian Center. And it was just an idea where you'd get somebody who'd been sober 5 or 10 years, have them follow the literature to the best of their ability, and then go through our steps. And it could be a place where new people or people who've been around a while want to sort of get refreshed on the program could come and sit down and know that it wasn't a discussion thing, so they weren't going to have to sit there and worry about what they were going to say when it was their turn, to talk on the 7th step, and you got to look smart. So you're listening to what the other people are saying, but part of you is trying to get your act together about, well, what am I going to say to really sound good here tonight? And so it's this way, everybody just can sit back and you know ahead of time that we're going to go through the 12 steps here. Now, I think all the other groups go through them 3 at a time, and do the steps once a month. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you finish and start again the next month. Over here, we used to do that, but after about 8 years, I think we shifted over to doing them one at a time. And so our format is that we go through the steps, one step each Saturday. At the end of the 12 weeks, we have 1 week on the traditions. Then we have 2 weeks on the history of AA, and then we start all over again. Today, we're on the second step. We just started last week. If you weren't here, we just started the new year out with the first step last week, and then we'll just plow right along. Take about 3 months to get through the whole deal. Now, the second step talks about coming to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And that's the thing we'll be focusing on this morning. But very briefly, we always review, for those of you that are new, we get new people here every week, why we focus on the steps and then sort of lead into the second step. The emphasis on the steps is that's what AA is. That's what Alcoholics Anonymous is, are these 12 steps. The 12 steps are what individual members of AA do in order to stay sober and get happy with sobriety. And those two things are absolutely necessary. I mean, that has to happen. You have to get comfortable and happy with your sobriety, or it's going to be almost impossible to stay sober for any extended period of time. That's what going on a wagon was. Going on the wagon is an attempt to stay sober and miserable at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody who tried to go on the wagon, it was your willpower against all, and it was a huge sacrifice, and it was very difficult, and that's why that particular program doesn't work, On the Wagon Anonymous, just because they don't have any steps. All you do is don't drink and grin and bear it. And it's just, there's too much, and you just collapse, and it's hard. So the steps are designed to enable us both to not drink and be happy with not drinking. And so if you've been in AA a while and you're not reasonably happy, you're doing it wrong. You're just not following the directions. And that's why we go back and review all these steps week after week. So this is what individual members are doing now that we have the meetings and we have sponsors and we have all these other activities in Alcoholics Anonymous. But all of that is just designed to force each one of us to continue working the steps. That's what the whole point of AA is to get us back to the steps. The steps are the answer. It's the solution. And very often our brains, as you go along in life, I don't care how long you've been sober, your brain will tell you, no, something else is the answer. The answer to my problems is that blonde back there. You know what I'm saying? The answer to my problems is going to Hawaii and getting the hell out of here. The answer to my problem is a BMW. That's the answer to my problem. And we have to keep coming here going, wrong again. The answer is contained in these 12 steps, and we have to keep reminding and go back, because this is the solution. And so we talk about the 12 steps as a game plan for living. And the purpose of this game plan for living is to replace your plan for living. That's the main thing that happens in the beginning. We get rid of your plan. As soon as we get rid of your plan, you shoot ahead about 8 miles. Because we as alcoholics have come up with a very bad plan for living. Now, it may sound good. I'm sure your philosophy of life sounds good. It's just nobody wants to listen to your plan because you're wearing a wristband. And it's just hard to get anybody's attention. Hey, you want to know about my way of life? No. We don't want to know about your way of life. It doesn't look like it works. I know it sounds like it works because you're real smart. Whether you're street smart or college smart, all of us think we're smart when we get here. We're smarter about ourselves than anyone else in the world. And what AA does, and by switching over to a different plan, the biggest thing that happens is we stop doing what we've been doing all our lives that got us here. And so that is one of the great advantages of trying these 12 steps, is that we abandon our old way of living and thinking. The second thing is you get to look at the results of the 12 steps. That's what AA, if you think about it in a way, AA is like a great big show and tell operation. We have speaker meetings every night, and we say, tonight we're going to hear from a young lady who's about 30 years old. She has 3 years sobriety. Here is Mary. And then Mary gets up, and you get to look at 3 years sobriety. You get to hear the story. I used to be this, locked up in here, and all that. And now I am what you see right here. And this is what's going on with me. So you get to look at the results of the 12 steps all the time. You got a sponsor, you got his friends or her friends, you got discussion meetings, and you're hearing things, and you're watching people, and you're looking real close, and you are seeing the results of the 12 steps. And that's why we say in chapter 5, if you want what we have, this is how you get there. This is the steps that you follow that will take you to this type of sobriety. And you'll notice in AA we don't talk about if you work the steps, then you'll be like me, you'll have a Cadillac, you'll have an airplane, you'll have this, you'll have a job. That isn't what we're talking about. We start talking about different things that you will have. You will have peace of mind. You will have self-respect. You will have friends. You will feel like you belong in society. You will feel a part of something. And all of these things that we talk about are different measures of success than we used to have. And that is a very important difference. And so this is what Alcoholics Anonymous is. It is this wonderful plan for changing our lives and producing the results that you see in the other people at the meeting. And you see it, and you recognize it. And you suddenly realize nobody's here conning you, and there's no scam going on. There's no angle to be shot. It's just one other drunk trying to show this drunk how to get out of the hellhole that he used to be in. And that's the end of the game. And it's done out of the sheer joy of passing on this message to the next person, because when it works for you, it reinforces my faith that this really is true, what's happening here. And so that is what I think AA is. And we talked last week about our first step, which I talk about every week leading into any other step, because it's the doorway into the program, and that's admitting you're powerless over alcohol, that your life became unmanageable. And we focus on the word powerless because that sets the stage for a spiritual program. That's what this is. It's a spiritual answer rather than an intellectual answer. And we're all used to intellectual answers when we come here. And intellectually, you want to figure things out. That's how you do it. You figure it out, and then you think up an answer. And that's what you try to do with your alcohol. And we come in here, and we go, that's the old way. And that doesn't work. Nobody has been able to think their way out of alcoholism ever. Knowledge doesn't help. It doesn't help, because your problem is not ignorance about alcohol. We can teach you all about alcohol, and when you are the world's leading expert on alcohol and alcoholism, if you're an alcoholic, you will be a drunk expert.